Hello and welcome, everyone. It is Suzanne Worthley here with the Energy Report for January 2021. For those of you that don't know me, I am an energy practitioner that has an online community called Vibe Tribe. And what I do with my group is I pull a tarot card each month. And this is the basis for the energy report that I give them. And I give a little snippet here for the general public to be able to kind of glean off some of that information. And that's what this is about here today. If you're interested in more about Vibe Tribe, you can always check out my website at sworthley.com. So that's SWORTHLEY.com. And you can check out what all Vibe Tribe offers, including a live webcast where we really jump into this material further. When I pull a card, I use the tarot, the general tarot, to get a feel for the information that I am going to present. And it always is on task with what is happening in our world. And this month I pulled the Queen of Cups. And so for us to start this new year out after this crazy 2020 year ended, a lot of us were hoping that everything was going to change and everything was going to, just a lot. I think there was a lot of ignorance that it was going to magically be okay. And we all know thus far that isn't the case, that we are going to be still dealing with a lot of chaos and a lot of things that aren't easy in terms of flow. But this card has some great messaging for us to move through January, starting with the concept of the Queen of Cups is all about water. It's all about the water female divine element. And when we add that into this movement of us going into the age of Aquarius, we get a double whammy on this water, which is really encouraging us to find some semblance of flow. Now, flow with ease and grace is not easy when we are still in a lot of this breakdown of our patriarchal structures and boxes, which is causing a lot of what we see as chaos. And so this is very, very important for us, if we choose to look at it this way, that we can learn from this card on how to go inside and use the Queen's intuitive self. Now, the Queen herself is very full of wisdom. She's very deep, levels of personal feeling, intuitive self, inner knowing. Do the work to connect with all living things. That's why it's the breath and water of life itself, human and beyond, by the way. The power of water itself, presents a reserved, sensitive being with a natural knack for caring for others. This is very important right now when we are going through these crazy times of still separation and, protesting, rioting, and etc. We need to, in my opinion, choose, if we choose, to go forward with a sense of empathy. Empathy is a huge part of the Queen of Cups. And when we are standing in another's shoes, not empathing, not taking on their pain, but standing in their shoes with unconditional love, feeling what they could possibly be feeling. This is the way that we can move forward through some of these coming months of still what we are going to see as breakdown of lots and lots of structures. Lots and lots of fear elements, lots of things, including this pandemic, that are putting people in these spaces of separation and fear. And so the Queen wants us to not hide or escape our realities. Many of us right now, because we're quarantined and separated, we're still hiding. We don't want to deal with this crap. And so she is very, very clear that it is important for us to not hide and to actually do a check-in and know what is my truth, and really go forward with knowing that I get to hold on to my version of truth, and I can empathically feel for another's truth, but I don't have to change it. I don't even have to agree with it. I can just support it. She talks very specifically about holding space. And this is, I think, what is going to be critical for us as human beings for the next couple months here, especially with this pandemic, is to hold space where others are in their journey. And many may be having a journey of going through sickness and even dying processes with this pandemic. And a lot of us who are suffering with separation from our loved ones are scared and wanting to either, help them, fix them, be with them, and or are scared to lose them. And all of these are not necessarily what the Queen is talking about for holding space. Holding space means honoring that person's contract of where they are on a soul path with no condition of mine attached to it. So when I hold space, it's a different form of using the word prayer and being there for them in alignment with whatever their higher self is choosing to do. And this is not an easy thing, but it is very, very possible. So we can have a deep devotion, a dedication. We can find spirituality. We can be there in prayer and even sometimes in bodily harm, depending on the situation, of course. But this is all about deep compassion for others and for self. It's about knowing strength of boundaries. It's about discernment and actually not taking on someone else's pain, because lots of times we will do that known or unknown to us. And so this skill set of discernment is especially critical in the months ahead. And this January period, when we're having this so-called change of guards, this is going to be a very, very difficult time for many on both sides of the fence, regardless of who you voted for or believe in. So this is a very critical time for us to understand, if we choose to, that we all have a different version of truth, and to be able to honor somebody else's truth without necessarily having to even agree with it, much less change it, in order for us to be validated, is what this Queen card is very, very much about. So this is a time for us to find ease and grace and flow. And that's what that water element, that divine passion, that compassion, that empathy is all about, the sensitivity, the deep personal nature of being human. And, again, the Queen card is all about nurturing. This is the epitome of divine mothering. And this isn't overbearing mothering. This is the nurturing side of the female God energy. And this is something that we all, I'm sure, could use a little bit of after a year like 2020. So hopefully, if you choose, and again, choose what resonates, toss the rest. Look further onto my blog and or check out the Vibe Tribe if you want to, because we really examine these really deep messages of the cards each month. And you get energy reports, you get meditations, you get a live webcast, you get meet memos to tell you what you can do to help your physical, emotional, and mental planes. This is all a wonderful way of keeping connected with like-minded energy. And I think that this is something that is going to be critical for not only just January, but the months ahead. And so until then, hopefully get in the flow, get a lot of that water, get some personal self-care, and enjoy. Until next, cosmic hugs.